Most men have no idea why women don't approach anymore. They think it's because women are not interested, but that's not the real truth. There are deeper reasons, silent fears, hidden social rules, and private pressures women never admit, even to their closest friends. And the crazy part? Some of these reasons have nothing to do with you, and everything to do with what happens inside her mind before she even looks at you. Stay with me, because the last reason is the one women hope men never discover. It changes everything. But here is the truth. Most men don't even notice the silent shift happening around them, but women have almost completely stopped approaching men. Not just a little. I mean stopped. Cold turkey. Like they all had a secret meeting and said, "All right, ladies, from today, no more walking up first." But why? Why would women avoid something that could actually get them the guy they want? That's what this video is about. And trust me, the truth behind this will surprise you, shock you, and maybe even make you laugh nervously. So stay with me, because the last reason is the one women hope men never find out. Before we start, here's one question I want you to think about. When was the last time a woman directly walked up to you and said, "Hi"? Exactly. For most men, it's rare. For many men, it has never happened. And there's a brutal psychology behind it. Before we go deeper, here's one quick reason to stick around. What you're about to hear will save you from the mistakes that make good men lose chances quietly. And if you want daily female psychology truth, the stuff women never admit, hit subscribe and like. It's free, and honestly, it hurts less than texting your crush and getting seen. The harsh truth nobody talks about. Most men believe women don't approach because women just don't like making the first move. But that's not entirely true. Women do want to approach. They just don't want to face the risks that come with it. And here's something funny. A woman can stalk your Instagram for 3 months, watch your stories every day, zoom into your photos 17 times, but still say, "I can't talk to him first. What if he thinks I'm desperate?" This is the emotional logic we're dealing with. It's wild, but it's real. Men get scared of rejection. Women get terrified of embarrassment. And to them, approaching a man is like jumping off a building, but in heels. Reason 1, women fear being judged. Harsh but true. Women don't approach men because they fear one thing more than rejection: being judged. Think about it. If a man approaches a woman, society says, "Wow, he's confident." But if a woman approaches a man, society sometimes says, "Wow, she must be too available." This double standard lives rent-free in her head. She'll think, what if he thinks I'm easy? What if his friends laugh? What if he tells his group chat? Women care deeply about their image. Approaching a guy feels like risking her reputation in front of a world that judges her more harshly. So she waits, and waits, and waits, hoping you magically read her mind, which you won't, because you're a man, not Wi-Fi. Reason 2, she's afraid of rejection. Yes, women do fear it. Some women act confident online, but offline? They are sensitive to rejection in ways men don't fully understand. For men, getting rejected is like, "Oh, okay, next one." For women, being rejected feels like, I must delete my whole existence, change my name, move to another country, block everyone, and start a new life. Women take rejection personally, deeply, emotionally, spiritually. And here's something funny, women rarely approach, but when they finally do, it's usually because they really like the guy. So if that attempt fails, oh boy, that memory will haunt them like a Netflix horror series. Better to stay silent and accidentally drop hints that men never notice. Reason 3, she thinks the man should make the first move. This one is big. Even modern, independent women believe, if he wants me, he'll approach me. It's not because she's lazy. It's because deep inside, many women still want to feel chosen. Approaching a man flips that dynamic. It makes her feel like she's chasing, and chasing feels scary. Plus, women love a little tension, a little mystery, a little "does he like me" energy. If she approaches first, that whole romantic fantasy disappears. Her thinking is basically, if I talk to him first, he wins too easily. So again, she waits. Reason 4, women think you already have options. Here's the crazy part. Even if you feel invisible, even if no woman has spoken to you for months, women still assume you have options. Why? Because women see men differently than men see women. A guy sees a pretty woman and thinks, she must have tons of men chasing her. A woman sees a decent man and thinks, oh, he definitely has someone already. And it gets better. A woman can see you standing alone, with no one around you, looking like a lonely lion in National Geographic, and still believe, he probably has someone texting him right now. I'm not competing with that. Women always assume the man they like is the man every other woman also likes. So what happens? She doesn't approach. She never tries. She avoids embarrassment before it even exists. It's not logical, but emotions aren't supposed to be logical. Reason 5, women want a man who leads. This is a big psychology truth. Even strong, independent women still want a man who takes initiative. When a woman approaches first, she feels like she's taking the lead. And deep inside, most women don't want to lead in romantic situations. Not because they're weak, but because they want to feel feminine. They want to feel chosen. They want to feel like the man is stepping up. So even if she really likes you, she won't walk up and say, hey. Instead, she'll do things like walk near you, look at you for 0.7 seconds, pretend to fix her hair, then pray you take the hint, which you won't. Because you're a man, not Sherlock Holmes. Women don't approach because approaching makes them feel masculine. And that kills the attraction before it even starts. Reason 6, women don't want the drama if things go wrong. This one is painfully true. Women think 5 steps ahead. Men think 1 step ahead. If a woman approaches and things get awkward, she'll think, what if I see him again? What if he tells his friends? What if he becomes weird? What if I end up in a group chat screenshot? Women fear future drama that hasn't even happened. And here's something funny. Women create entire imaginary soap operas in their mind before saying one word to you. For example, she might think, if I approach him and we date, what if we break up? Then what if he dates my friend? Then what if my friend posts about it? Then what if my mom finds out? All this mental chaos just to avoid saying hi. It sounds extreme, but that's exactly how the female brain works. Emotion first, logic later. Why this actually hurts good men. Now, let's get real for a moment. All of this hidden psychology, all these fears, all these silent rules, they have a direct impact on good men. Men who are kind, men who are respectful, men who don't play games, men who just want a real connection. But because women stopped approaching, good men often think, maybe I'm not attractive, maybe I'm not enough, maybe something is wrong with me. And that's the part nobody talks about. Women rejecting the idea of approaching isn't just a preference. It creates a world where men feel invisible. Most men don't need the whole world to notice them. They just need one woman to show some interest. But when no one approaches, that silence becomes painful. And here's the twist. Most women are not rejecting these good men. They're just too scared to take the first step. Imagine how many real relationships never started just because a woman didn't want to walk across the room. Crazy, right? But don't worry, because in the next section, we flip the power. You're going to learn how to use this psychology to your advantage. So we're getting into the deeper psychology now, the real reasons women stay silent even when they like you. And trust me, these next ones will make you say, wow, now it makes sense. Let's continue. Reason 7, women think you will misread her intentions. Women overthink everything. And one big fear they have is this: if I approach him, he'll think I'm too into him. Women don't want to look desperate. They don't want to look like they're chasing. They don't want a man thinking, oh, she approached me, I can treat her however I want. Because sadly, some men do think like that. So what does a woman do? She avoids approaching completely. But here's the funny part. A woman will send you signs, signals, vibes, looks, hair flips, probably a whole Morse code message with her eyes. But she won't walk up to you. Why? Because she wants you to be sure of yourself. She wants you to read her small signals and then make the move. In her mind, she's not rejecting you. She's testing if you're confident enough. Reason 8, women don't want to be seen as easy. This one is harsh, but completely true. Women are judged by society more than men. and anything they do publicly becomes a thing. If she approaches you, she worries someone will say, "She must be thirsty. She's too easy. She's too desperate." Even if nobody actually thinks that, she thinks they will. It's like she has a permanent crowd of imaginary judges following her around. Meanwhile, men approach women all day and society says, "He's bold. He's confident. He's a go-getter." Same action, different reactions. So women protect themselves by saying nothing, even when you're exactly the guy they want. Reason 9, women expect men to make the first move. Let's keep it real. Biology plays a huge role in attraction. For thousands of years, women naturally looked for men who can lead, initiate, and take action. Even today, modern world, modern dating, modern apps, women still want men to take the first step. Why? Because it shows confidence. And confidence is the number one thing women find attractive, even more than looks. If she approaches first, she feels like she's doing your job. That kills the attraction. It's not about being old-fashioned. It's about how women emotionally connect. She wants a man who steps forward, not a man waiting in the corner, hoping someone will save him. Reason 10, women don't know if you're interested. This is the most underrated reason, but it's huge. Women won't approach because they assume you're not interested. Why? Because most men hide their attraction. Men think, if I stare too long, she'll think I'm creepy. Women think, he didn't look at me twice. He must not like me. Boom. Instant misunderstanding. And here's the funniest part. You might be sitting there thinking, she's so out of my league. And she's on the other side thinking, he didn't even notice me. Both sides lose. Nobody moves. And the love story dies before the first line. Here's where everything changes. Now, let's flip the power back to you. You know all the reasons women don't approach. You understand the psychology. Now here's the big question. How can you use this to your advantage? Simple. You stop waiting. You stop guessing. You stop overthinking. You stop saying, if she liked me, she'd make a move. Because now you know, she won't. Not because she doesn't like you, but because she's scared, nervous, confused, overthinking, and worried about being judged. When you understand this, you instantly separate yourself from every other man. Because now you become the man who can read small signals, can notice interest, can take initiative, can walk up calmly and confidently, and here's the thing, women love men who take initiative with calm, respectful energy. You don't need pickup lines. You don't need perfect looks. You don't need to act like someone else. You just need to do what most men are too scared to do, make the first move with confidence. And here's a small human humor truth. If a woman gives you the green light and you still don't approach, she's going to look at you like, bro, do you need a written invitation? Women won't say it out loud, but they deeply admire men who aren't afraid to walk up and say, hey, I noticed you. What's your name? It sounds simple, but in today's world, simple is powerful. We've covered the brutal reasons women don't approach men anymore. Now it's time to tie everything together and give you the emotional, powerful truth that most men never hear. Because this isn't just about dating. It's about confidence, masculinity, self-respect, and understanding how women actually think. Let's finish strong. What women wish they could tell you. Here's something very few women will ever admit honestly. Most women want to approach the man they like. They want to say, hi. They want to show interest. They want to be bold. But they stop themselves because they are afraid of looking cheap, getting rejected, being judged, being misunderstood, losing control, being seen as desperate, rushing something that should feel natural. And here's the truth that hurts a little. Women protect their emotions way more than men do. Not because they're weak, but because the social consequences for them feel much heavier. So when a woman doesn't approach you, she might still like you, but her fear is louder than her attraction. You might be exactly the man she secretly wants, but she won't risk being the one who takes the first step. Imagine how many beautiful moments never happened because both people waited. Imagine how many connections died before they started because no one made a move. This is why good men lose. Not because they're unattractive, but because they're quiet. Because they assume they're not wanted. Because they're afraid she's out of their league. But what if she's thinking the exact same thing? What if she's waiting for you the whole time? What you should do now that you understand this psychology, here's the truth. Women aren't avoiding you. They're avoiding the risk. They don't hate approaching. They hate embarrassment. They don't hate interest. They hate rejection. They don't hate you taking action. They hate feeling like they're chasing. So what's the solution? You approach. You lead. You take the first step. And here's the part women secretly love. When a man approaches calmly, respectfully, and without trying too hard, he instantly becomes more attractive. Confidence is not about being loud. Confidence is not about acting like a playboy. Confidence is not about pretending to be someone else. Confidence is simply this. You see what you want, and you are not afraid to move toward it. Women are drawn to that energy. Not because you're forcing anything, but because you're showing clarity, direction, and strength. Even a simple approach like, "Hey, I noticed your vibe. What's your name?" can separate you from 99% of men. And here's a little humor to make this real. If you approach a woman the right way, she'll go home smiling like she just won the lottery, telling her best friend, "Girl." Finally, a guy who isn't scared. A guy who actually has a backbone. Women don't remember the line you used. They remember how you made them feel. Approach equals confidence. Confidence equals attraction. Attraction equals opportunity. And that is how you turn psychology into power. So now before you go, tap the next video on your screen. Your transformation continues there. If you got value from this one, hit subscribe and like before you leave. It's free, and honestly, it boosts your love life more than updating your hairstyle. Don't worry, the next video isn't boring. It's the one that makes women say, this man is starting to understand us. So go watch it. Your future self and your future girlfriend will thank you.